Today we're going to talk about, and today I don't actually have a PDF or a PowerPoint to pull up and go through a bunch of slides. I thought that today would be really interesting to just be the topic of today. Last week we talked about in the first episode, just kind of what the heck are NFTs, what's going on, what do I really think their long-term value is, and to kind of recap that a little bit. I really think a lot of people are getting lost in the art side of the NFT world, and in more importantly in the speculation of art in the NFT world, and a lot of people today think that that's what NFTs are. It's just art sales, right? And there's really so much more power behind this technology, decentralized, blockchain, public record ownership, all of these incredible opportunities. And so what I want to do today is take it kind of to the next step and talk about the business side of NFTs, or at least, I mean, there's so many. Again, we're going to go into a lot of very high level discussions around, how do you make money with NFTs? And I'll talk about the art and the speculation and some of the ways that people are making money today, and then talk about a lot of business opportunities I see in the future that to some people, like my dad, as an example, would think are absolutely crazy. I'll show you guys today where there's literally virtual real estate development firms. My dad was the chief investment officer and worked for Trammell Crow Company, which is the largest IRL, the largest real life commercial real estate development firm in the world. And so, he would buy land, and his company would, and do this and build massive office buildings and massive, industrial, commercial, mixed use, everything. And they're multi-billion-dollar projects. But those types of things are happening with NFTs now, right? With virtual land purchases and things like that. And so we're going to dive into a lot of opportunities here. And I'm just going to kind of take you on a tour of the internet. I'm just going to go around and go to different projects that I like, or that I'm familiar with, or that where I'm just learning about, and I'm just going to share them with you. And just because I'm sharing them with you doesn't mean I'm endorsing them in any way or asking you to buy it, right? I'll share with you what I own if I go on to anything that I do own, and show you guys what it's all about and how I do research. Ultimately Google is where you can learn a lot of these things. Twitter is a great place to go and just hear discussions about it. And again, to recap last week, I believe that NFTs are just an incredible way to engage with communities. I think that's a big element. I think that it's a great way to be part of, to show ownership in something, to give access to somebody in a unique way, and to transfer real ownership in virtually anything, right? Whether it's virtual or a real asset in the real world. So with that being said, and again, like always, I want it to be, conversational here. Let's, if you have questions, feel free to raise your hand, put in the Q&A, whatever. We don't have any polls today. I should have done that, but anyway, we're going to dive in, and I'm going to share my screen. I haven't even closed out of all my windows. I have a ton of things up, but I'm literally just in the Zoom link here. So we're going to just kind of go out of this. And I think where I want to start, I have just a list of the different places I want to go. I'm going to go first to one. I met the CEO of this company the other day, sat on a panel with him. I think this is cool, right? So again, we're just diving into how do you make money with NFTs? So Cinder.io is a play to earn game. And there's a bunch of these that have popped up recently where you can, sit and click buttons, and basically the network sees more and more activity with more people. And so the more people that are doing actions and activity, there's things that just drive the value of NFTs or of crypto and things like that you can earn. But most of the games are just boring. They're things that, and again, the earning potential on most of them are very, very low. And so it's just not worth your time. And quite frankly, they're going to set up bots that just click the button for you, right? Or you have 40 phones, somewhere in China, and someone's just tapping buttons, right? So that's going to happen. But the reason I like Cinder.io is it is a playable NFT game. And they like to say, think of World of Warcraft, right? Style, quality, right? You can see some of the video here on the screen, and it looks like actually a decent game, right? And so if you're a gamer, well, now you can jump in. This is built on the Solana blockchain, by the way, which I'm a big fan of. It's a proof of stake blockchain. And without getting into the details, that means it's going to be really, really cheap to do transactions, and you can have lots of really cool things. But you can also go around, for those of you that have played video games and have opened a loot box or something like that before, and you open it up and you find a new sword or you find a new helmet or something, those can actually be, each one of those items can be NFTs, right? And so you can have your player, your avatar, right? They're each NFTs that can be traded, right? And so you can get on there. Now, this has not launched yet. The drop and all of that is coming, and so you can't actually get it in play. But the day that the drops go live with all the avatars and everything, you'll be able to get in to start playing the game immediately. So jump into Discord, learn more. You can see their phases and their project here. But again, I met the CEO the other day, and they're doing some really cool things. And I can promise you, Seek NFT will do some good collaborations there to make sure that everything that we do is compatible with this. Lots of Q&A. So again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but this is one example of a way to make money with NFTs that should be available. By the way, they launch within like a few weeks, I think. I mean, we're really, really close to that date. But, this whole concept of playable NFTs and being able to find NFTs in the real world, it's really exciting as a gamer to open up a loot box and, oh, boom, you got a legendary item or a unique item or a rare item. And because that's going to make your player stronger. But now imagine that, okay, now you can take that and throw it up on an auction house and make $150 from it, or $15,000 from it if the community is big enough and the item is rare enough. So that's the type of opportunity that these type of games offer. So that's pretty fun. So play to earn, tons of other things. I'm now going to go kind of a step that's also play to earn, but very, very different in terms of what they're going to do. And I'm just going to open a new tab because I might bounce around. Let's go to Decentraland.com. How many people does anybody own land in Decentraland? I want to know that if you're in here, and put it in the chat if you do. I'd be surprised if anybody does, but also would be excited for you because it's worth a lot of money. So if you click start exploring, play using your wallet. Oh, you know what? I think I accidentally clicked out of the this right here. Just got to sign to log in. But basically, you connect your MetaMask wallet. For those of you that don't know what a MetaMask wallet is, it's just a Chrome extension that allows you to it holds your crypto and your NFTs and different things that allow you to gain access to decentralized applications. And Decentraland is a decentralized world. Again, it's a game. We're sitting here, you're going to just be watching me run around here for a minute. But I just push this. Yeah, there's also, there we go. Okay, so we go down here and boom, right? So now I'm in Decentraland and I can start running around. Looks like it's nighttime in here. And that's pretty fun, right? So I can bounce around in here and there's, look, this is another place. This is a place to run around and explore. I can come inside of these different things, and people own actually these plots. Let's go escape. And then if I click right here on the map, I can actually look around and, here I am in Genesis Plaza, but there are lots of people, there's, singers and there's companies and things that own different pieces of Decentraland. And each one of these little plots here is buyable, right? And therefore it's an NFT. It's a unique plot inside of this world. And so if you're hearing about virtual real estate, and there's a bunch of these, and there's some real concerns around this. We'll talk about kind of both sides of this. This is a really popular one. Sandbox is another really popular one. But theoretically, you can you can build unlimited virtual worlds. And so you could always just be selling new virtual land inside of new worlds. So if you're looking for a business opportunity, become really good at building these fake lands and learn how to market them, right? That could be something that you could do. Now you can actually buy, here's an OpenSea gallery, right? And so I can click here and kind of explore and come over here and bounce around inside of these different places. But if you want to buy one of these things, right, you can come in and you go into the Decentraland. Let's see if the marketplace is linked from here. I'm sure it is. Here's the marketplace right here. So inside the marketplace, you can buy things that you can put on your web on your avatar, like, a ski mask or, this shirt, right? And in order to do this, you have to have a 3D object, right? That's something that Seek has done for a long time, right? You have to have a 3D object that is built to the specifications for Decentraland. And you can find that by just Googling Decentraland 3D model specifications. So if you're a 3D modeler and you're watching this, this is an opportunity for you to make money. You can create cool stuff. And by the way, brands, you can create branded stuff and put it into here and people can buy it, right? So Nike should be in here, right? I mean, obviously Nike just bought Artifact and it's a digital, a virtual shoe company, because they plan on being able to offer these things inside of Decentraland or Sandbox or Roblox or Minecraft or Fortnite, right? Those are ways that virtual economy is going to be very, very real. Now down here, you have Parcels and Estates, right? So I can click into here and I can see, now I'm back here kind of in a map type view and I can see what's available, right? Here's the owner, here's the price. Sometimes if it's grayed out and here's the owner, but it's not for sale, they said, you know what, we're keeping this. So obviously things that are close to Genesis Plaza, which is where everybody kind of drops in, they're going to cost a lot. 398,000. So the 398,000, that is actually not a dollar price, it's a mana price, right? So current mana price sitting at $2.13, right? So if you see here in the marketplace that this goes for 398,000 mana, then you're talking $850,000, right? For this little 10 by 10 little spot, right? But in this spot, you can, now imagine you have 100 million people coming into Genesis Plaza every day. Owning this spot for $1 million might be worth it, especially if inside of this, you've developed it out and built a store, or you've built a way where you can actually tie it to a real economy in the real world and be able to actually do business in the metaverse. And that store could be virtual, right? Again, remember, we're here in Decentraland. Let's get out of the map again and back into running around. I just want to, find something here. Again, it's nighttime, so there's not as many things. All right, here we go. But here's somebody has built something. Live events and local info coming soon to this kiosk. Here's a QR code that you can scan here. And look, they are selling advertisements, right? That can be your business. You can sell advertising, you pay, you find one of these spots inside of the marketplace. Sorry, back over in here. And you say, hey, you know what? I think this is going to be a good spot because it's right next to Jay-Z's plot or whatever, right? You figure out your reason for why you're going to be in there. And you say, okay, I want to be in this spot. And I think people are going to walk by this a lot. And if you really think that, and you can convince people of it, and you can even have analytics showing what people are doing in it, you can actually build a business selling advertisements on billboards, right? So that's crazy, right? Now to take this a step further, right? Running around and jumping around, you can see that I used to play games more. It was a fun time back in World of Warcraft, back in 2000, gosh, 3, 4. But there's so many fun things in here that people will like. Now, for me, to be really straightforward, this isn't super exciting for me from I'm going to go spend a lot of time in here type of experience, right? I am not liable for anything you see on the screen here. So they can put whatever they want. And by the way, that is actually a real warning for brands, right? You have no idea who is going to buy the land right next to you, right? And so maybe you're a university or you're a church or you're something. And if that just pops up right next to you, you can't control that. And that's a real problem, right? And so there's a lot of regulation, a lot of things and risks that you have to be willing to do. That was a big problem with Second Life back in the day, where people were starting to say, hey, we can start to buy tons of virtual real estate and do all these things. But then people were, there was no censoring for the avatars themselves, for the land, for everything that was happening there. This looks fun. Am I going to die if I walk on this? It looks crazy. But bottom line is there are so many different places you can bounce around in here and find opportunities to engage with different brands and content. So I am going to close out of this now because it's kind of eating away at my computer a little bit here. But I want to share, let's see here. Where's another, I had a thing here right here. So here is a company, and I am not affiliated with this company in any way, shape, or form. I just discovered them and I don't know who they are. But look at this: investment, development, and infrastructure innovation across the global metaverse and NFT ecosystem. That is, again, a crazy thought. I was talking about my dad, commercial real estate developer forever, right? And now you have people that are saying, okay, hey, you bought this land, you bought this plot of land, and now what do you want to do with it? Here are some ideas. We'll help you build a mall. We'll help you build a cannabis shop. We'll help you build a virtual shoes shop. We'll help you build some advertisement space, whatever. And literally all they're doing is just designing 3D environments, which is fine, right? You've got, that's what happens. But I mean, these guys have 24 metaverse platforms. They own 3,000 NFTs all over the place: Axie Infinity, Decentraland, Sandbox, Treeverse. These are some of the most popular kind of metaverses out there that are live today, that are really open ecosystems where you can do these things. But bottom line is, you know, these guys will continue to teach you about it, but these are virtual real estate developers, right? So they designed this Republic Realm Academy, right? And so they designed this little building in 3D, and now you can go in and you can do things, you can interact, right? We're working with some groups out there that, you know, they might want to bring their brand into the metaverse, right? And so we'll help them get there, and we'll partner with people that hopefully are on this webinar or see this and learn about these things, because we don't want to do it all as Seek, right? We're a Seek infrastructure, and we're a connector. We help brands and different groups, you know, kind of navigate everything that's going on here. But this is just kind of mind blowing to me, that there's this whole virtual world that has unlimited potential. But again, I'm just going to reiterate what I said earlier. If you buy land in here, right, and you know, 78,000, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to get in, right? And there's probably a way, if I get out of the there's got to be a way to do this. I know there's like a list view. Maybe it's this right here. Here we go, right? And so I'm sure I can list by cheapest. Here we go. So the cheapest land in here, look at it. It is literally at the edge of the map. This one's literally at the edge of the map. This is actually a pretty decent deal right here. Now, I say it's a decent deal. It's still 10 grand, 12 grand, whatever, to jump in and do this. So don't just jump in and do this. If you are, you know, if you're trying to figure out what's going on here, this is very much a speculative play. There are so many unknowns. And again, what's to say, like, because you can build infinite versions of this, right? You know, Decentraland, you can have Decentraland 2, and you can have Decentraverse, and you can have whatever the heck you want, NFT world. And the names go on and on forever. And I'm thinking back to the scene in The Office where Michael Scott has all these different names for his paper company that he can keep changing to. Anyway, for those of you who've seen it, you get it. It's funny to me. But long story short, this is a place where you can buy something and hope it goes up in value, but it's very speculative, very, very speculative. You have no idea if it's going to go up or down. And so enter at your own risk. But a lot of people got in on this really early and paid, you know, a few bucks or $100, right? Or $1,000 even for this. And now the floor price of this is, you know, 10 grand, right? So they're making a return just from a speculation standpoint. So you could say, oh, you know what? I don't like this because it's on the edge. I don't like this because it's on the edge. But, you know, this one seems to be kind of in the middle of some things. That's great, right? Maybe I'll get lucky and someone else will buy something around me here. Or maybe I'll do this one because there's a bunch of plots for sale here. And so maybe someone will buy something cool. So you buy it and you just hold it, and you can do that, or you could buy it and develop it and try to use it for a business purpose. There will be very, very legitimate business purposes for those wanting to sell, you know, different types of virtual content and, again, real world content using the metaverse. So that's Decentraland. If there's any questions, please put them in the chat, and that's fine if there aren't. I'm going to go over to another one, and again, I'm happy to bounce back if there are questions on anything I've talked about so far. Feel free to do that. I'm going to jump over to NBA Top Shot. I talked about this last week a little bit, and the reason I like NBA Top Shot from an NFT perspective is because I like the NBA, right? And that is core. That is a core just thing I want everyone to understand. If you're going to get into NFTs, do it because you want to be in that community, not because you want to go try to make a bunch of money. And I know there's a lot of people on here or out there in my network that would say, oh, well, I don't really care about the communities. I just care about the money. And that's fine. If you want to do that, it's gambling, right? You're going out there and you're using your own money to guess and see what happens. But do it because you like the community, or you like the rewards, or you like what's going on, the real world utility. I talked about real world utility a lot. But the real world utility of NBA Top Shot is I get to see cool stuff. I get to build up a collection of digital basketball cards. And I like it, right? And I have, here's my collection, right? My collector score is, 2,576. It's pretty good. And that's because I spent a lot of time completing my Utah Jazz collection, which is down here somewhere right here, right? So I had to complete, 4 sets, and I had to buy 36 different NFTs. And this cost me, I don't know, a couple $1,000. But then I can actually, one of the cool things about this is right here. This is the value of my account. And by the way, this is all public, right? It's blockchain, right? You can look this up, and as long as you know a username or something like that, you can figure it out. JC Kayak, I'm a kayaker, right? So easy to find me. And I, refresh this. 39.67 is what it was. Now it's worth 39.57. I've lost $10 in the amount of time it took to refresh that thing from, I don't know, I probably loaded it a few hours ago. But then I can come down here and look at all the different cards that I own. And I see a bunch of stats. What's my serial number? How many are in circulation? How much have I gained? Looks like I've gained $569 on this one because I actually paid $0 for it, and it's worth $569 now. And that one keeps going up, which is really cool. People like Scotty Barnes, the better he gets as a basketball player, the more the value of my card is going to go up. I got this in a drop, right? And so you can participate in these drops where you jump into like a pack right here. You've got a starter pack and you've got a hollow icon pack. Holy cow, it's $1,000. I think that's new. That's really cool. That's tempting to me, which is crazy that I want to spend $1,000 on thing. But the thing that's tempting to me is exactly what you see here, which honestly probably isn't too different from gambling, right? I bought a pack. Now the good news is for this one, I actually only paid like $10 for it. I bought one of the packs for maybe $20, right? Most of the packs are $10 to $20, right? They have some premium packs and apparently a hollow pack that's new, and that's exciting. But if I were to buy this right now, which I'm not going to do, but I would get 1 legendary, 1 rare, and 7 common. And that legendary, by the way, could be worth way more than the $9.99. It could only be worth $359. So I might lose money immediately, and then I just hold on to it if I want to, or I sell it and trade it back in. There's a lot of different things I can do. But making money inside of this place just feels very normal to me in terms of trading cards, right? And I can track this. This is otmnft.com, and it's just another site that allows me to look up my account. NFL All Day is coming soon, which is really cool. This is kind of the same thing as the NBA Top Shot run by Dapper Labs. And so you can see how much money I've made with each of these. Let's go to the other side. Let's see how much money I've lost. What's the most I've lost on any of these things? And I own 67 of these at the moment. So here we go. So that's crazy. That's insane. Look how many I'm dead even on. And then all the rest of them I've made money on, and I've lost this much money. So I'm up a huge amount. I'm up, I don't know, $1,000 maybe, probably. Maybe a little more than that, maybe $1,500. I don't know. 500, 700, 800. It's probably closer to $1,000, maybe $1,100. So, but bottom line is, look at that. That's pretty cool. As the NBA Top Shot community grows, right, and more people come in that like basketball and want to trade it, and really as the barrier to entry lowers and it becomes easier and easier for people to understand and get in and get behind this, the value of that community and everything inside of the community will grow, right? Most of the time, just like when you open a basketball card pack or a Pokemon card pack, you're getting just common ones that are just kind of throwaways. You're like, oh yeah, I've got 10 of those or whatever. But occasionally you go, whoa, I got one. I've been looking for this card, right? And so that's, again, something that's pretty easy. Good question. Brittany just asked, how do you get your money out of something like NBA Top Shot? Is the offboarding easy? And yes, the answer is absolutely yes. So I have, if I want to sell it, right, I would come into my collection here. So again, let's just click on this collection, and I'm not going to sell one, but I'm going to just show that went to null. I don't have any idea why that did that. That looks like a platform error. So we'll ignore that, and we'll come over here to one of these. And okay, so I own Rudy Gay here, right? So that's great. So owned by JC Kayak, I own this one, right? And I can see, you know, what it's selling for. It looks like everybody's selling it for $3 right now. And so that's fine. So what I would do is I could place for sale. Now, if I am saying, okay, you know what, I really need this $3 right now, or I need some money. I need $2 right now. Right now, the lowest, the floor price of it is $3. And I was like, man, I just want to empty this. I just want to get out of it right now. Because the lowest price is $3 that it's going for, if I were to list it for $2, I'll be the next one to sell, right? And so that's fine, right? But if I'm like, hey, you know what, I can be patient, then I'll probably just place for sale and I'll make it $3, right? And a lot of places, a lot of auction houses and things like this, you come across something like, you say, I'm just going to do $2.99, right? And I don't know how NBA Top Shot, if they allow, you know, pennies or things like that. It might just be, you know, whole numbers only. I'm not sure. I actually have never sold one on Top Shot, but I know how it works. But as soon as I do that, then it would go into what's called my Dapper Wallet, right? And I'll pull that up even to show what this looks like. I only have like $10 in it right now, right? But right here, I have the ability to add more balance. And what I'm buying in here is these, the Dapper, I'm increasing my Dapper balance, right? And it uses flow to get money in and out, right? I have a Visa here that is tied to my account and allows me to then purchase Dapper and add to that. And then if I want to get out, then it says right here, available for withdrawal. I have $9 in there. So any money I put in, I can take out, that's fine. And then it says non-withdrawable. Occasionally I will get, because my score is high, my collector score is high, they'll just drop me $25 or drop me $100. And in fact, I was dropped $150, I don't know, a month ago or so. And so I got to use $150 of free money to buy some stuff on NBA Top Shot. And that was awesome. That was really fun. I bought myself a good card that's actually gone up in value since then. But bottom line is you can transfer in and out of Dapper through your Dapper wallet. The wallet is the mechanism that lets you move funds in and out. And I can send it straight to my bank account. I can pull money out of my bank account. I can pull money off of a credit card inside of Dapper. And so that's what I really like. So that's really cool. So just, again, going behind the scenes there a little bit. So this is a good question. Colleen just said, how are those non-fungible if there are many other identical items? Very good question. So let's jump back in here again, and we'll just, again, open one of these here. Well, actually, we'll just zoom in on these two, right? I think this is a good teaching moment here. So here, there are 60,000 plus of this Rudy Gay base set. So again, this is like your common Pokemon card or your common card that you get when you open a basketball pack, and there's a lot of them. Now, if I actually go in, and over here, before I click into here, this one is $4.99, right? It's limited edition, the count is final, right? CC means the count may change. And so they're making this one that just everyone can own. It's going to cost you $2 or $3 to get, or it may just show up in a pack when you come in. But this one is, there will never be more than $499. Now, obviously, limited editions are going to be worth a lot more because there's never going to be another one that's available. And so, again, as the NBA Top Shot community grows, then the value of every single one of those cards will increase. And I don't know if there are any one-of-ones in NBA Top Shot. There might be. I certainly don't own any. You know, here's one that's rare, number 94 of 199. And by the way, to fully answer your question, Colleen, there is only one, number 26,656. So I have this card, and I have it's the edition number is what I have, number 26656. Just like if you were to buy a painting, a Picasso, or whatever, right? There could be 10, right? It might be 10 of 10, or there might be 400 paintings released of some certain artist, right? And so you could have number 234, very much like the real world in terms of art. And this is very much like the real world in terms of trading cards. But again, I am the only one that owns number 455. Now, part of the reason that actually becomes kind of cool is if you were to go in here, even for this common set, and let's see if we can find it. Rudy Gay's number is 8, right? And so typically there are certain elements, even to a common card, that drive up the value, right? And so if we were to look at, this is recent sales, view top sales history. I wish I could see more of this. Yeah, it looks like a lot of these have just sold, 40 bucks, 30 bucks, which is crazy, right? I mean, and that's recently, right? People, this is January 20th, 2022. This is the last week. These things have been going up in value here for whatever reason, even though there's a ton for sale for $3. But usually a lower serial, now here's a number 24, a low serial number is a good trait to the card. A number 8, there's only one number 8 out of 60,000 plus of Rudy Gay's thing, and that one will be worth a lot, right? It's probably not for sale right now, and that's why we don't see it here. So it won't show up here on the list unless it is actually for sale. It's a good question, Colleen. There's different elements that make it more and more valuable, but as far as it being unique, this ownership of this thing still is represented. My specific one, number 26,000, whatever it was, is still a single item or registry on the blockchain. Then I can go and look up the transaction detail. It's right there for me to be able to see. And I am the only one that owns that serial number of that item, right? And so that's why it still becomes an NFT. Brittany asked a question, how do you deal with taxes on all of this? In the same way you would anything else, right? If you hold it for more than a year, then it's going to be, and by the way, this is not financial advisor tax advice, but definitely talk to your financial advisor on this. But typically when you're holding a crypto or you're holding a stock or you're holding a piece of land or you're holding whatever type of asset, if you hold it for a year, it becomes, it's treated as capital gains, which has a little lower tax rate than ordinary income, which your W-2 income from your job would be something you get every. Now, if I buy this today and I sell it next week because I said, oh man, I spent $999 on this pack and oh my gosh, I have to pay my rent and I'm going to sell all my stuff, right? So you buy it and you sell it, then that's ordinary income. And so you have to report it. Now, no one's checking to see if you reported it right now. There are some, so that's completely on the honor system, and that's what you have to do. But the important thing here is those systems, the tax systems, tracking all of those things. Those are very developing things. There's a great company here in Utah actually called Taxbit. And they're a software company that basically will help you take care of this. Right now, they've started with big websites like Coinbase, for example. If you trade crypto on Coinbase, and if you've done that over the past few years, like I have, at the end of the year, you get this ledger of every single purchase and every single sale and everything that's happened, and it is a mess. It is completely unorganized, and you're just like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I bought this much and sold this much. It looks like I lost $30 or I made $3,000 or whatever. And so I'll just throw that onto a miscellaneous income 1099 or something. And so it's kind of a guess and check. But the problem is with real property, which is what NFTs and cryptos are treated like. If you buy something and then sell it within if you buy something, sell it and then buy it back within 30 days, it's actually as if you never sold it. And so you can't recognize losses. And there's all kinds of just weird rules that, again, you shouldn't be asking me about, and you probably don't know. And quite frankly, to understand exactly what you really do owe, even your accountant might not get it right. And I know that, at least from my accountant, where I gave him all of my things and he's just like, yeah, I think this is what it is, but we still don't know a lot of the rules and laws around it. So what Taxbit said is, we're going to go out and we're going to do our very best. We're going to go try and understand what are the laws, and we're going to talk to the government. We're going to talk to the IRS. We're going to talk to all these different groups that are managing tax and accounting around a tokenized economy, crypto, NFTs, all of this stuff, right? And so now, if you go to Taxbit just announced a little bit ago, and by the way, I don't work for Taxbit. I just know them. And I'm really impressed, and I'm really excited about their company, because now we're going to get a form. I don't know if it's form 8949 or what it is, but if you're on BlockFi, if you're on Coinbase, if you're on whatever, then at the end of the year, for free now, as part of those, Taxbit has an agreement with Coinbase, with BlockFi, with these different things, with Robinhood, and at the end of the year, you'll get a form that's ready to go. Throw it into your taxes, give it to your CPA, and they'll take care of it. It's done. And now everything's done right. So Taxbit, I think they're valued now at $1.3 billion. They started like a year ago, and now they are just absolutely everywhere. And so there are again, we're talking about ways to make money with NFTs and with blockchain and with crypto and with the metaverse. This is a billion-dollar company, billion-dollar plus company now that will probably be worth $10 billion in the not too distant future, because they answered your question, right? Brittany and Colleen and these people that are asking questions about this. They answered the question of, and they created a system and a platform to be a bridge really between the virtual world, the crypto world, the blockchain world, and the real world. So there are tons of opportunities. You can get into Decentraland and start, speculating on land, virtual land. Cool. That is the risky way to make money. The better way to make money is to say, what can I control, right? How can I help this audience? And so Taxbit is a perfect example of somebody who said, I'm going to go help this audience figure this out. And, they had to raise much money and deal with a lot of boring stuff with taxes. So it's probably not a business I would start, but I would invest in this for sure. This is amazing. This is a great company that's solving real problems. And so kudos to all the people. I have some good friends that actually do work for them. So I'm excited for them and their stock options as that continues to grow, because they're providing real value to people like me, right? And they're doing it for free. I don't even have to pay for it. I just go into my Coinbase, export my tax documents, boom, I'm done. And that's a huge thing. And I quite frankly, nobody likes paying taxes. I don't like paying taxes, but I also don't like getting audited, and I want to make sure I do it right. And so Taxbit allows me to make sure I'm doing it right. And so I'm sure that the government is also very, very excited about that. So anyway, there are so many strategies. In fact, I am another company. I can't really talk about it in complete detail here, but there's another company that I'm working with, and we're working with at Seek to use some of our infrastructure and systems around to help more tax strategies and planning around NFTs specifically, right? And so there's another company that we could talk about another time that will help people that have, especially those that have made a ton of money inside of the crypto world, the NFT world, and they want to figure out a good way to be able to manage that. This will be a great solution for them. So again, that's another way to just make money. So very good questions, guys. Yeah, this is good stuff. Okay, we got about 20 minutes left. Again, keep questions coming. That obviously drives some of the discussion here. By the way, next week we're going to have a guest on here. I'll announce it soon. If you are signed up for this webinar today, it means you are automatically signed up for the next however many webinars we have. It's just every 2 weeks, so it's on your calendar probably. And so we'll have different topics every week, and excited to have you guys keep joining in and learning about this. We'll continue to grow the community here. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some other NFT projects. One that I like a lot. In fact, I think the person that introduced me to this might even be on this call. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. So I see him on. He knows who he is. But this is GM Groundhogs, and he told me about it, and I learned about it, and I was like, you know what? I don't really know, but it sounds cool and it sounds fun, and I think it's kind of whatever. So I paid something like $1,700 or whatever to get into this, right? Which is a lot of money if you look at these groundhogs, right? I mean, these 5 years ago, if someone put this in front of me and said, "Hey, pay me $1,700 for this," I'd say, "Take a hike, man. Not interested," right? But now the floor price to get in on this is 10 Solana, right? And so let's see, what's the SOL today? Current price is 95. Wow, that's crazy. It is so low, but that's fine, right? All of crypto is down, and so this will bounce up and down, whatever. That's fine. But bottom line is, to get in today, if you want to jump in on one of these, you would pay. If this is the one you want the cheapest one. It looks like there's only 3 of them at 10. You're paying $920, right? So anyway, in here, the reason I bought this is because I like the community. This is a groundhog thing, right? And you also get an apparel drop with your NFT, right? That's actually what made me do it. I was like, I want that hoodie, because there's not going to be a lot of them. It's super unique. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. And even though I'm paying $1,700 for a hoodie, there's additional value that will come out of this. And I believe in the future value of what this is. And you can do your research by going to gmgroundhogs.xyz and learn about it, right? And as the community continues to grow, I've seen this floor price go up and down and up and down. I've seen it as high as 15. I've seen it as low as 8 or so. That it tends to, it's doing pretty good right now. But as we get closer and closer on Groundhog Day, if you own one of these, So next month, right? There will be some cool opportunities here. So you can get your hoodie. I have a question. It says, will you be covering how NFTs can relate to actual real estate, how to sell real estate via NFT? Great question, Colleen. I will get to that in a minute. For a moment, I want to just kind of focus on some of these. Now, if you don't happen to run into the founder of GM Groundhogs, right? Or if you don't happen to run into somebody who's just really close to a project and you just want to go and learn about, where do I find information? Number one, just buyer beware. There's a lot of scams out there, a lot of people trying to make a quick buck, and a lot of people trying to leverage a celebrity name, and even celebrities that don't really understand it. They're like, oh yeah, I'll put my name behind it. And then they do it. And then they're like, great, I made $1 million. Thanks guys, see ya. Right. And they're out. They weren't in it for the long haul. And so all of a sudden, because there's no community or benefits, or the celebrity's gone from behind it, it's called a rug pull, right? And the value just disappears overnight, right? So there's a lot of people that just don't understand the purpose of the NFT. And again, they're trying to just sell art in the name of an NFT, and somehow people think that makes it worth more. I had somebody come to me the other day and they showed me this beautiful drawing. It was really good art. It was art I would probably buy and put on my wall, right? But she said, hey, I want to mint this and sell it as an NFT. And I was like, okay, tell me why. What's your plan around it? What are you going to do with this? And she's just like, I don't know. I just want, I know it'll go up in value if I make it an NFT. And then I had a conversation where I was like, yeah, I mean, it might, right? But tell me about your community. How many, who's following you? Who knows about this art? She's like, oh, nobody really. It's just kind of my thing. And I just thought it'd be cool to mint it and try to sell it for a lot. And what's going to happen is the exact same thing that would happen that I minted something on OpenSea not too long ago, just to prove a point along those lines. I'm a pianist right here, right? Here is my NFT. And I have it on sale for $25,000. I know it's not going to sell for that, and that's on purpose. But if I were able to find this, I don't even know if there. Yeah, there's one like. It's me, by the way, right? I have told nobody about this, right? And even if I were to message this to my, 50,000 fans that I have for my piano music that I do, I highly doubt someone would actually buy this, because there's no purpose behind it. There's no community behind it. There's no real world utility. It's just an autographed, whatever of a cover of one of my piano books, right? And so it's great if you want to make an NFT and you want to put it out there, but you have to have, you can't treat it any differently, no differently than if you were literally taking your art and going and putting it into a gallery somewhere, or putting it up on your website, johncheney.com, right? Or whatever your name is on your website. If you have nobody going to that website, no one's going to do it. OpenSea, I don't know what the number is. Let's do a Google. How many NFTs on OpenSea? 80 million as of January 6th. All right, so good luck. Good luck sticking out. I receive 100 emails a day, right? And it's really hard for vendors that want to sell something to me to stick out, and for me to be like, oh yeah, hey, I'll give you time of day. I'll look at this, right? I only read, I just delete. And so that's trying to stick out of 100. Try sticking out of 80 million NFTs. That's got to be the largest art market in the world. I can't imagine there being a larger art market than 80 million. Someone please correct me if you know better than me. But this is it's not just automatic. You can't just make a collection and throw it out there. Even if you make a collection of 1,000 NFTs or 10,000 NFTs, and they're all unique, and they're little groundhogs and they're little gerbils and dogs and whatever, it's not going to happen unless you have a community. Maybe you're a charity and you want to raise money through NFTs. Fantastic, Mr. Charity. Do it if you have a community and people are willing to do that. And then to make sure people don't, now if it is part of a charitable donation, maybe if you buy the NFT, it's right, you can write it off and things like that. That could be beneficial. It could just be a way to get some sort of memorabilia. But the person buying that NFT from that charity has to understand that they are donating for charity, right? They're buying it for charity, and that they're probably not going to get any value after the fact, right? So, so anyway, there's lots of ways how to discover new NFT drops, new NFT projects, right? There's all kinds of things. And again, there's tons of bots out there trying to push you in the wrong direction. So I would just get in here and I would just look. NFT counter is actually one I've clicked on one before, where you can just see what's going on, who's doing it, read more. But the important thing is that you read more. Don't just go be like, ooh, charge punks, that's the top of the list. Boom, go buy it, right? Click on here. What are they doing? What's their project? Do they have a website? Do they have Twitter? Do they have a Discord? Is there a community? Jump in there, spend time in there and figure it out, right? And see if it's a community you want to be a part of, or if it's art that you really like, right? So there's lots of resources like this that will let you understand what's going on very quickly. And again, I just want to like put my head down and cry a little bit. Every one of these projects is the same. It is all the same. This is all a bunch of useless stuff. Now, there might be something, I don't know if Cloneverse, yeah, this is a sci-fi game, so it might be like Cinder.io. There might be some real community and game behind it. Those types of things. Again, real world utility is what I'm looking for. That is what I care about. So that's just me, right? That's how I judge an NFT project, and that's how I try to figure things out. So spend your time. Again, this is one website. NFT Counter is one that was recommended to me by somebody, and so I found it. And again, it's easy to find on Google. But that's how you're going to do your research. You have to get in deep. You have to really figure it out. One way to do it is to get in. I think getting in early on projects is really important, because then, you know, if it goes up, great. If it goes down, typically the early price is low. So you're risking a lot less capital. Maybe it's $100 to get in. Maybe it's $10 to get in. Maybe it's free. Just be present to win and you're in, right? And then all of a sudden they do something and it goes big and it explodes and some celebrity gets in and everything jumps to $10,000. That's the dream for everybody. But again, out of 80 million NFTs, how are you going to pick the one project of 1,000 NFTs that is the right one? It takes a lot of research and a lot of time. And again, don't put money in there that you can't afford. If you're worrying about rent, please don't be buying NFTs. So I want to quickly answer Colleen's question here, and then I want to talk a little bit about the way I see a lot of people can make real money long-term with NFTs as a mechanism. So how can NFTs relate to actual real estate, and then how do you sell real estate via an NFT? So let's back up a little bit. NFTs, when they were first created, we're going to do a stop share here. We're going to just come back to this for a minute. NFTs, when they were first created back in about 2018, they didn't exist before 2018, June of 2018 to be exact. But the way that the blockchain works is there's typically a proposal that is put onto the blockchain, and somebody says, I've got an idea. I have a new way to use the blockchain. Here's a new application, a new contract that we want to enable on the blockchain, a new functionality. And they said, okay, we're going to create this thing, and we're going to allow people to attach things to it, an image, some metadata, some other things like that, right? And you know what they called them in the initial proposal? Deeds. They called NFTs deeds. It was a representation of ownership. That is what an NFT is. An NFT is not a Bored Ape picture, JPEG. An NFT is the token attached to the metadata, which happens to be a Bored Ape picture. The token is the NFT, right? That is the key. The token is the NFT. And so, again, just like a piece of paper is a representation, or a deed is usually a piece of paper, maybe a digital deed, but let's say it's a real piece of paper that you have that represents, I own this house, or I have a title that represents, I own this truck or this car or this boat or whatever it is. The paper itself, in the same way that you can right click and save a JPEG or something, you can make a copy of the deed or something, right? But unless it's the original, it has no value, right? And so the NFT itself is where the value is stored and what's moved that. So then, Colleen, to answer your question, in order to sell something through an NFT, you simply have to attach some sort of metadata to it that is representative of the ownership of that item, right? And so you could essentially sell a business. You could say, all right, if you own this NFT, you receive access to a special password. This is, again, some utility, a special password that gets you into a folder that has all of the IP, all the customer lists, all the bank account information of the entire business. So you could sell an entire business with that. And you could do the same thing with a piece of real estate. Now, the reality is that selling an NFT, you're selling your house through an NFT on something like OpenSea would be pretty ridiculous. I mean, you could, but there will be more specialized platforms that are built probably by big title companies, things like that say, hey, we want to use NFTs as a perfectly transferable asset thing that can't be, it can't be changed. It's immutable. And it's very public, right? It's very transparent. Everyone can see what's going on. And so that, the process is right. I actually talked to a title company just a few days ago after I sat on a panel, and then I actually talked about some of this idea. And then I had a big title company come up to me and say, hey, we want to do this. Right. And, right now they have vaults and vaults filled with millions of hard copy documents. Now, it's not as simple as just saying, okay, great, hey, we're going to sell it through an NFT. There's also government regulations and bank regulations and standards and things that people have to agree to this, to say, okay, I now understand blockchain well enough. I understand the company that's providing this service. I understand what's going on. There's a perfect chain of custody, right? And so that's happening. Colleen, I know you're asking which company. I can't share that information because they're working on it. But the bottom line is there are opportunities here that, to take some sort of ownership, right? And say, hey, let's go move it over to the blockchain and see what we're going to do there. So to finish up here, and great questions, everybody that's jumped in and asked. As far as, the next kind of element that I want to finish here with is back to the community aspect. I believe that NFTs are a very elegant and efficient way to manage communities, to manage access to different things. And I'm going to go through an example of I'm just going to pick an artist out of the air here. Someone give me an artist, one of your favorite artists. Anyone, just type in the chat, whoever I see first. Beyonce. Okay. So Beyonce is our artist that we're going to talk about. So Beyonce right now, if we were to just go and we'll do the share screen again here, and we'll just bounce around the internet. We'll just be like, all right, Beyonce Instagram, right? When we jump in here, 235 million followers. That is amazing. That's incredible job, Beyonce, at doing that, right? Beyonce Twitter. How many Twitter followers does she have? She is at, it doesn't say it on here like Instagram did, but she's at 15.4 million, right? Let's see. I don't know if she's got a TikTok. Let's see if she's got one. 9 billion views. I mean, here we go, at Beyonce official TikTok, 1.8 million fans, 1.9 million fans, right? So that's amazing, right? By the way, she has no content. She has 1.9 million. I think this is probably a placeholder that's like, hey, maybe I'll get there eventually, but she literally has published nothing. That's funny. So clearly, by the way, that is a perfect representation of what I'm about to teach about here. She's got a lot of followers, a lot of fans. That's great. But if you were to ask her, what percentage of that community do you own, right? Let's say Twitter goes down and Facebook goes down and Instagram goes down and TikTok goes down, social media's gone. What percentage of that platform do you own? The answer is 0, right? She has built a massive community for these other platforms. Instagram is giving her big hugs because her 50 whatever million followers are bringing so much ad revenue to Facebook, to Meta, right? The parent company of Instagram. They're making so much money for those companies. And if Beyonce says, hey, I have a new album, Facebook says, great, pay us $1 million and we'll tell your fans, right? And so that is crazy. They have to rent, these artists have to rent these communities from big tech to say anything, even though they have these followings. And that's fine. There's a lot of value to it. And the last decade has been dominated by this, right? Maybe even 15 years or so. I joined Facebook in 2003 or 4. I think it was 4. I think it was 2004. It was right when I started college at BYU. And, because I had a college address, I was able to get into Facebook, and you had to have a college address or email address back then. So that was cool. But obviously, Facebook's had its problems over the years, and maybe more recently, But now with this new world, this new Web 3.0, this digital or this decentralization of power, of computing, of storage, of community, of everything, there needs to be new ways to do it. And I believe NFTs can do that. That is what we are doing at Seek, is we are powering ways for Beyonce to say, hey, come to Beyonce.com/community, right? And, you know, as soon as you click register, you'll put in your email address, you verify your email address. And as soon as you verify your email address, we're going to give you an NFT. We're going to airdrop you one. And now your key to get in, just like you saw me on a couple of these websites, I had to verify something in my MetaMask wallet to approve to get into Decentraland or to get into something. And there's certain features that I have to approve, for example, to get into Discord, right? And so being able to control that access through NFTs is a very elegant use of that. So again, it doesn't cost anything to join the Beyonce community. In fact, Beyonce is going to pay a little bit to get you to join her community because she's going to pay for that minting of that NFT. But now if she has 20 million people inside of her community, and behind that, she can have all kinds of cool content, right? She can put videos and she can put discussion boards and she can put events where, hey, I'm going to go live on video to all of my, community members, my Beyonce followers or whatever on, 7 p.m. on Tuesday. We'll do a live Zoom for everybody or a live webinar for everybody. You can only access it if you're part of the community. And then she can sell different types of NFT, NFT kind of levels of membership, right? Maybe if you want to be, it's free to get in, but maybe you want to be part of the inner circle where you get more access to her, or maybe you want to get access to a special merch store that is only available if you have a specific type of NFT. And those NFTs maybe originally were traded, they were offered, you pay $100, you get access to the store because you now have this NFT, and maybe there were only 1,000 of them. And so because there are only 1,000 of them, there's a limited amount, just like on NBA Top Shot we were talking about earlier. And those then can trade back and forth on the marketplace. And maybe Beyonce's community figures out that $6,000 is the floor price for being able to have access to limited drops on the merch store. And so that is how you start. And by the way, those are, again, you can make a ton of features that are available for free. Get in and enjoy it. Maybe she can have a thing where you can purchase, like Nas has done, right? I mentioned this on my last thing. Nas sold a portion of his royalties to his NFT holders. And so he sold however many NFTs that was, and they're all going to share in the royalties of his music. That's cool. Beyonce can do that with her community, right? And so you can use NFTs as a way to provide access, by the way, it's ownership and access that is perfectly verifiable in an automated, transparent way, and also perfectly transferable with the same benefits, right? I have it now, I can sell it tomorrow. So I believe that communities and access to clubs, access to games, access to video games, access to sports games, sporting events, access to everything ultimately will be controlled by NFTs. I think that every single ticket to every event will eventually be an NFT because the technology is very, very easy to manage and very hard to beat, right? Because it's immutable, because it's public, because everything is very transparent, it's very, very difficult to beat. So thank you guys here. Oh, hey, there's a good question. Basil just asked, is there a perpetual royalty as the NFTs get traded? Yes, there is, or there can be at least, right? Inside of, for example, Beyonce's trading platform, she could offer that, access to the merch store for $100 and there's 1,000 of them. So she sells it and she gets $100,000. But then if I bought it for $100 and the value goes up to $2,000 for that access, I'm like, sweet, I don't really need access to this merch store anymore, or I value that $2,000 more than that, so I'm going to sell it. But she could just say, hey, there's a 10% platform fee. And so she continues to get royalties on every single NFT that she has inside of her system, and she can create ongoing revenue streams. I still get, $1,800, and I'm super excited. I bought it for $100 and now I sell it for $1,800. I'm happy. Beyonce gets $200. Awesome. Everyone's winning. So, so this is wonderful. Brittany, thank you for, this question here. Please message me directly on LinkedIn. You can find me on John Cheney, whatever, or Instagram. You can find me probably anyway, or just email me, john@ckxr.com, JON. And I'd be happy to talk to you individually and see if there's ways I can help you on that. You know, Brittany's just saying she's got a community and she wants to figure out how to offer more value, and that's great. That's what this is all about. We're all here to offer value. I hope you guys learned things today. Just the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more I research, the more interesting this world becomes, and there's going to be a lot more. So hopefully see you guys in 2 weeks. Invite your friends, share it. We'll continue to come up with more topics, and we have a great guest for next time. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you later.